With the NBA All-Star Game happening this weekend, we finally have a break in the season. And with this break, let's go ahead and give you my picks for all of the end-of-season NBA awards up until this point. The majority of teams have played about 53, 54 games, so there's still about 30 games left. But let's get into it. For me, Executive of the Year is Rob Pelinka. He should get every single vote this year. When you fleece an organization of their present and their future, you deserve the award. For me, Coach of the Year is Kenny Atkinson. He's always been a good coach. He got blown out of Brooklyn because KD, Kyrie, and James Harden didn't want him. But he basically took the exact same roster that existed last year in Cleveland and turned them into an elite team offensively and defensively. This one's a runaway. Peyton Pritchard is your sixth man of the year. It's not even close. He's averaging about 16 points per game. The question I have is, by the end of the season, how many games has he started? I don't like to give the award of sixth man to anyone who started more than 15 games because it's the sixth man, but we'll see. I gotta be honest, this year's Rookie of the Year race is one of the worst ones ever. It's comparable to when Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year, I think back in 2016. But if I had to give it to somebody, I give it to Steph Castle. Castle is an elite defensive player already. He has crazy athleticism, and I love watching him play. For me, most improved was going to go to Jalen Johnson this year, but now that he's out, it's going to Norm Powell. Norm Powell is 31 years old. He improved his scoring by 10 points per game. He's more efficient, he's a better defender, and he's even a little bit of a playmaker now, which we never saw him do before. The Defensive Player of the Year is between these two guys. You can even talk me into Amen Thompson of the Houston Rockets, who's an elite defensive player as well. But between Victor and Dyson Daniels, these two, I wish you could do co-Defensive Player of the Years because they both do different things, right? Victor Wembanyama controls the paint and he's able to change people's shots without even blocking them, while Dyson Daniels leads the league in steals and he leads the league in total deflections, which is unbelievable. But Victor's going to get it. We already know how this is going to go. Unfortunately, Dyson is playing in the era where he might never win Defensive Player of the Year. And finally, we have our two-horse race for MVP. We have SGA and we have the incumbent Nikola Jokic. Now, I think the narrative this year is to give it to SGA. The Thunder are the number one seed in the West. They're led by SGA. He's a great defensive and offensive player. However, I'm not going in with the narratives. Jokic is the better player. He's more valuable to his team. Jokic has somehow turned that roster in Denver, who's, utilizing a pretty old Russell Westbrook, effectively I might add, but it's because of Jokic. He's putting up career stats in points, three-point percentage, rebounds, assists. He has them as the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. If that team didn't have Jokic on their team, they would be the 10 seed, and you cannot argue with me on that. The Thunder would still be a relatively good team even without SGA because they have Chet, they have Jalen Williams. But my MVP vote, if I had one, would go to Jokic. He would be a 4-timer. SGA is having a great season, but Jokic is more valuable to his team. And you can argue with the wall on that.